Welcome to the DraftKings Life Podcast with Jason and Meg. I'm Jason Jones, Senior Recruitment Marketing Specialist.
And I'm Meg, Talent Acquisition Associate. This podcast is going to give you, as the listener, the inside view of DraftKings. We will be releasing bi-weekly episodes and feature content on people who make DraftKings a great place to work.
For those who don't know us, DraftKings is a U.S.-based digital sports entertainment gaming company fueled by competitive spirits of sports fans with offerings that range from daily fantasy sports, regulated gaming, and digital media. This week, we'll be featuring our very own Kayla Schmalz, Senior Communications Associate on our corporate communications team.
Welcome, Kayla.
Welcome, Kayla.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
So today we're just going to be running through some questions to kind of get to know you and more about your DraftKings experience. So let's just start off by, seeing what you do at DraftKings and kind of just walk us through a day in the life of Kayla Schmalz.
Awesome. All right. Well, like you said, I am a Senior Communications Associate on the Corporate Comms team. And I focus mainly on PR and everything kind of external facing in our company. My team is specifically responsible for all external communications efforts and materials, and we support different product launches, partnership announcements, state launches, executive positioning, different speaking opportunities and awards for the company, along with many other things.
Cool.
So, take us back to the beginning. How did you arrive at DraftKings?
Yeah, so I actually started at DraftKings July 2018, and it was actually right after graduation for me. I knew I wanted to work at DraftKings. It was an awesome sports tech company, and there were no, full-time roles in PR. I did see an opening for a PR internship, and that kind of sparked my attention. So I applied for that, went through many rounds of interviews, and actually got that position and was able to transition full-time in September of 2018 to a communications associate. And cool. I guess since then I've transitioned to senior communications associate.
Yeah. What was that original kind of transition like for you, going from an intern to a full-time employee?
Especially after graduating school, right? So you graduated and then got an internship.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a pretty seamless transition for me, having learned a ton about the company in the internship. It was actually a really cool way for me to kind of get comfortable with the company, comfortable with the role that I was going to, transition in. And, I don't know. It was pretty seamless, honestly.
Cool.
Yeah. And then also, too, is when you were looking up roles after you graduated, what was your initial thought of DraftKings?
Yeah, so I loved it. DraftKings is one of the hottest sports tech companies right now, and I just knew I wanted to be there, whether that was me starting as an intern and transitioning full-time or, just that full-time role. But
awesome.
It's such a cool company to be at, and I could not be more excited to be here today.
Awesome.
Great. So you're our first podcast guest. So I guess you could just start about what you like about DraftKings and kind of what makes it unique.
Yeah. So like I said, DraftKings is one of the hottest sports tech companies out there, and the industry is just in its infancy. The people here really make DraftKings what it is, and they're so smart, so fun, and it makes working here that much better.
Awesome. So a day in the life for you, kind of walk us through what you do on a day-to-day basis, and maybe how you collaborate with other teams and your own team here at DraftKings.
All right. I love this question because there's no such thing as a typical day for us.
Agreed.
I think the only constant here is change. Yep. But for me, I can, give you a little bit of what I do. Yeah. I work on drafting press releases. I pitch stories to various media members to try to get that coverage. I also create in-depth communications plans, draft awards, and it's all really dependent on what is going on that day in the DraftKings world, as well as what's going on in the sports world.
So when it comes to drafting a press release, is there science behind it? Like, how do you make the story compelling enough for that media outlet to pick it up?
Yeah, I guess we go through many rounds of drafts, but we always try to, I guess, write down what the punchline is, what's happening, how are we going to attract media attention here, and what makes this so exciting and different and new. And with that, we get quotes from our executives and spice it up with cool little things that are
Happening
now. Yeah.
I mean, this place is always changing and evolving, so I'd imagine that it's pretty easy to kind of get stories picked up, especially when talking about this ever-evolving industry that we're operating in.
Oh, yeah.
So what's something that surprised you when you started?
That's a great question. I guess one thing that surprised me is if you speak up, you will be heard. And if you're confident with what you're saying, people will listen to you, and your ideas can transition into a reality.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's cool advice.
So something that you've learned, I guess, during your time here, as you've kind of transitioned into a more senior role, I feel like your story is kind of unique in that you've been with DraftKings for a short amount of time and, have been able to kind of exceed in that position. So either something you learned or, one piece of advice you would have for a candidate looking to join DraftKings.
Yeah, cool. So honestly, I'm learning new things every day, and that's kind of why I love it here. Like I just said, I've learned that it doesn't really matter where you fall on the ladder, and if you have those good ideas and things to contribute, people will listen. Mm-hmm. And I guess for the piece of advice for people who are looking to join DraftKings, I guess do your research. DraftKings gets so many applicants, and kind of know what makes you stand out and emphasize that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
That's cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. So I guess right now we're just going to start with a little 2-minute drill section of the podcast where we're going to ask you some lightning round questions about what makes you Kayla.
You tell me when, I will start the timer.
Go. Right. So let's just start with, where are you from?
Oh, I love this question. I guess I'm from New Jersey. Mm-hmm. Raised in New Jersey, Basking Ridge.
North or South Jersey?
North.
Okay. No offense to Southern New Jersey.
But I've moved so many times in my life, so it's hard to kind of put a place on that. But my mom lives in upstate New York, my dad's in Connecticut, and I'm now in Boston. So.
Sweet. Cool. Where did you go for undergrad?
I went to St. Lawrence University.
Awesome. What's a mascot?
Saints. Here we go, Saints.
Go Saints. And what's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Spicy tuna roll.
Yes.
Well done. Do you have a favorite sushi restaurant in Boston?
North End Fish Market.
All right. I'll add to my list. There. Thanks.
Yep.
Favorite mobile phone app?
Instagram.
Same.
Best place for post-work drinks in Boston?
Ooh. Cisco and Seaport.
Same.
That's seasonal. What about year-round?
Year-round.
I said it. Okay, any season. I count Cisco.
If Cisco was open year-round, I'd be there every Friday.
Well, right now, the skating rink.
True. If you could travel one place right now, where would it be?
Bali.
Oh, we got almost 30 seconds. Love that. Best perk at DraftKings?
I'd say nails with knee.
Nails with knee. Love
Favorite
her.
weekend activity?
Weekend activity? Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for Sunday brunch.
Yeah. What are you watching right now on streaming services?
I just recently watched The Goop Lab.
Oh.
Really cool.
Shout out to Gwyneth.
And then now Love is Blind.
We can't help it.
Can't help it.
Favorite podcast?
Besides this one, obviously.
5 seconds.
I like anything Barstool or Betches.
All right, time's up.
Good job, Kayla.
Good work. Awesome. So that is about it for today. Kayla, thank you so much for stopping by and being our first podcast guest.
You are a brave soul. Appreciate that. And to all those out there, tune in next time to learn more about why DK is such a great place to work. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Meg.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me.